Hello, everybody. My name is Wilson, and we are doing a vintage cube draft on Magic Online. You can check out my stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, starting at 5 p.m. until about 8 p.m. At twitch.tv/Crewman Wilson. Let's get in this pack. Hey, Mock Sapphire. That's a pretty good card. I'm a big fan of that card. Power 9 are they're okay. They're okay. And Mock Sapphire is probably the best out of the Moxen. So we're going to take that. The one thing that I like to do with Magic Online cube drafts is that when you fire up Magic Online, it automatically sorts things by rarity. And while that's good with like a Shadows over Innistrad draft or something like that, where you can see that the rare is up here, cube is all about color. And I mean, it's not all about color because we can do all kinds of crazy things, but it's a lot about just kind of sorting the pack as fast as you can and then digesting the information as fast as you can. So that's why I like to sort by color. Just right-click anywhere of the blank spaces, and you can sort any way you want. You can even sort alphabetically if that's your taste. Anyways, starting off with this Mock Sapphire, I'm looking at things like Tezzeret, Shelldock Isle, Thran Dynamo. Tezzeret is pretty good, but there's no Time Vault in this cube. I think Shelldock is pretty great. It's like probably top 50 cards, and Thran Dynamo is just wonderful. Just being able to ramp out into giant things in the cube is where it's at. So you know what? I'm going to take this Thran Dynamo. I've seen Tezzeret wheel, and I haven't seen Thran Dynamo wheel. So I'm going to take this Thran Dynamo and, just keep on keeping on. What do we got here? We have, well, we have already 2 artifacts, and there is a Mishra's Workshop. And I don't know about you, but if there's a turn where we can go Workshop, Mox, Thran Dynamo on turn 1, I don't see exactly how we lose that game. So I'm going to take Workshop here, passing up on, some good cards. Gideon, I don't think is the card for this type of deck. There's Dragonlord Silumgar, Seasons Past. Maybe we can wield this Kadaltho Forge Master and, pick up things like Blightsteel. But I'm going to take this Mishra's Workshop because that's sweet. Well, you know what's great with Mana Rocks is balance. Balance is, I mean, ugh. Okay, let's just map this out here. We have the amazing turn 1 Mishra's Workshop, Mock Sapphire, Thran Dynamo. So we have 7 cards in our opening hand. We're down to 4 cards. We draw for our 5th card. We draw, let's say, a Plains. We play the Plains. We balance. We're pretty much like, we could turn 2 balance and just like, make them discard 3 or 4 cards. But it's also just great when, like, I don't know how exactly creature heavy we're going to be in this type of deck, but we're definitely taking balance here. Passing up on Vidalcan Shackles, which is okay. Like, this doesn't mean that we're blue. We could be like Wildfire with this kind of stuff, but I'm going to take balance because it's great. It's a great card. Not much in the way of like cool artifacts or things, but there is a Consecrated Sphinx, which, I mean, even if we go like turn 3 Sphinx off of like a cool Thran Dynamo play to start off with Mishra's Workshop, that seems pretty sweet. We could look at like this Plateau, and maybe if we get like a Metal Worker or Duretti, we can splash that along with playing the balance. But Consecrated Sphinx is really good, and like we can always ditch this plan if Consecrated Sphinx is the way that we go. All right, here's a Basalt Monolith. Being able to go Mishra's Workshop in a Basalt Monolith is pretty sweet. Here's that Goblin Welder I was just talking about, Manic Vandal, which will be just the bane of our deck along with Kolaghan's Command. But I think I'm going to take this Basalt Monolith. Again, it just like helps us ramp into giant things. We can play it on turn 1, which is just crazy. You don't do that in real Magic. You don't just like have 6 mana on turn 1. I'm gonna take this Phyrexian Metamorph. If we can like Metamorph, like, oh my gosh, if we go Mishra's Workshop, Mox, Thran Dynamo, tap the Thran Dynamo, play Metamorph, So then on turn 2, we would have 7 mana without playing a land drop. That's a little spooky. So we're going to take that. Gruul Signet is great. We have a lot of mana. We just kind of need something here at the top end. Maybe it is Consecrated Sphinx. I don't know. We can kind of cast it off this Mox Sapphire. Nature's Claim is terrible for us or against us. Same with Pernicious Deed. I kind of like Westphale Abbey, but I don't feel like we're going to be doing that with balance. Maybe it's this Gruul Signet. Maybe it's this Mutavault. I'm going to take this Gruul Signet because Mishra's Workshop, even just playing a Signet on turn 1 is kind of game. And Signets are great with balance. So we're going to do that. Follow it up with a Enlightened Tutor. Maybe. We could also just take like a Trop. Trop helps us cast the Consecrated Sphinx and not take too much pain off this Metamorph. It also allows us to maybe have a green splash. I don't know what green does with artifacts, though. I'm going to take this Enlightened Tutor. We may get something like, that we want to search up. Nothing here. Do we just take this Tidehollow Sculler? Sculler? I don't know. I'll take the Tidehollow Sculler, but I don't feel great about picking any of these cards. All right, so the Forge Master came back. That's pretty cool. So now Forge Master can, once we power out all these artifacts, now we can, essentially just use this as, like, a tinker. What's going on here? I don't even understand what's happening. Is this the Forge Master here? Who knows? We'll take that. Lightning Greaves with the Forge Master is actually kind of big game. There's Wildfire, which, it actually might be Wildfire. Because we have this. I don't know if we're going to play this in Enlightened Tutor, but we have this to possibly play the Wildfire. Okay, yeah, I'm in. High Tide Linvala, Nighthawk. Let's take the Nighthawk. I feel like that would give us the most issues. Wow, Goblin Welder wheeled. Insane. Gruul Signet's looking very good. Olivia. Olivia's not that great in Cube. I think Olivia could probably be taken out. There's the new... I think it's Olivia. And the new Olivia that's colorless of black and a red. And what you can do is you can discard a card when you play a creature. That creature gains haste, +1/+1, and is also a vampire. And I think that's better than this Olivia. This Olivia just takes so much mana. Anyways, Soapbox. Averted. Do we just take Kozilek? There's a Factor Fiction, which is kind of sweet. But, this is like maybe a draw 3. This is a draw 7. I think with things like Thran Dynamo and Basalt Monolith and Metamorphs copying this, I think that we take the Kozilek. Kozilek is kind of sweet. Plus, we have a bunch of different mana costs here. So, I don't know. Kozilek's cool. We'll take Kozilek. Follow it up with a Wormcoil Engine. There's also a Bribery. So Wormcoil Engine is kind of sweet. But Bribery is kind of wild. Like, Bribery does things that, Bribery is good against us, too. That's interesting. Other considerations from this pack are, like, Animate Dead, maybe Gifts Ungiven, but I think that it's between these two. We already have 2 6s and a 10. I think I'm going to take this Bribery. Maybe we'll just play some islands. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so now we're Tolarian Academy Mishra's Workshop. We could possibly wheel this. I don't think we want to wheel this Ice Conceptor, but we could definitely wheel this. Yeah, I think we're definitely taking Tolarian Academy. And now we're just picking up any and all artifacts we can find, because our deck is now pure gas. I don't know how many decks can beat a turn 1 Solemn, but I can assume that not many of them can do that, and I think Solemn is just kind of perfect for this. You can also sacrifice it to the Forge Master or sacrifice it to the Goblin Welder to just start looping things. Yeah, this solemn is pretty great. And followed up with, there's a Tundra here. That's interesting. So Tundra allows us to play balance and also have all these dumb blue cards in our deck. I don't see another pick here. Like, True Name Nemesis is not where this deck wants to be. I think it's just Tundra. And I'm pretty happy just picking this up. This may be a Tangle Wire deck. Because, you know, we're spitting so many things out on turn 1. Also, like, we could just play it off of the Mishra's Workshop. Tangle Wire is not great. But I think in this deck, it's fine. There's also, like, Reflector Mage, which I don't see us doing that. Yeah, I think it's just Tangle Wire. We don't want to get into a situation where we Tangle Wire our Basalt Monolith, but I think that we can just, you know, maybe lock our opponents down for a couple turns. All right. What do we have here? We have Moat. I'm not seeing anything other than Moat. And Moat is kind of good. I mean, how do we beat a Moat? I guess just with a Consecrated Sphinx. This is kind of a poopy pack. Yeah, we'll just take a Moat. I don't know if we're going to play it. But we have this Enlightened Tutor to also search it up. Wow, Staff of Domination. So if we can pick up Metal Worker, we can go super duper deep and get infinite mana and infinite card draws. And, you know, this card is just great. There's also a Hallowed Fountain, which we already have the Tundra. I think I'm just going to take the Staff of Domination just because it has such high upside. Conclave Naturalist is kind of crazy against us, but I think we're just going to take this Dismember. Nothing good here. Let's take a Grim Lavamancer. We may play it. We may not. All right. Here's a Duretti. Duretti is pretty great. I need to find... So what I'm looking for is pretty much like in the next pack, just any Signet. Any Signet. Especially ones that produce blue or red. I think are probably going to just be the pick over most of anything. Wow, dig through time? Yeah, we can take a dig through time. Smokestack Tangle Wire. I mean, we don't have much to sacrifice to the Smokestack, but these two cards are kind of derpy. I'm going to just take the Smokestack. Ooh, the Reflector Mage Wield. Okay, we'll put that there. Moloku. It gives us outs to opposition. All right, what do we got here? We got Big Papa Ugin. Big Papa Ugin, Worn Powerstone, Memory Jar. I think I'd take any one of these three, but I'm just going to take the Ugin. It's kind of lame that our top end is just colorless. It's not artifacts, so we can't use the Mishra's Workshop to cast these. We're going to have to rely on the Mishra's Workshop to cast like the Basalt Monoliths and Thran Dynamos that then cast this. But this is also good because it gets around all of the you know, colorless things that we're going to have in our deck. So I think Ugin is probably best. Worn Powerstone is great, though. I'll take Ugin. There's the opposition. There's also Skull Clamp plus Moloku. So if we take opposition, that allows us to play Moloku. Does it have any other significance in our deck? Not really. Not really. But what's the alternative? The alternative is something like, I don't even know. Like Skull Clamp, I'm not going to play Skull Clamp with Moloku. I don't think that this is a deck that's going to play Crucible of Worlds. I think that we just take the opposition. Mystic Confluence is very good. It's very, very good. Maybe we just take that. Actually, I think it's Mystic Confluence. We'll get beat by opposition. It's okay. It's all right. Ooh, Chromox. Chromox can do some pretty wild things. Like we can imprint, you know, Bribery to be able to play, you know, some of these bigger things. Passing up on Jace, Repeal. We're not seeing a whole lot of artifacts, which is kind of I don't like that, but wow, Lodestone Golem's perfect. Perfect lodestone golem. I mean, we're playing shops. We're playing vintage shops. It's great. I'm in. So I think the pick here is Boros Signet. Pretty much over any of these. Sphinx of Steelwind is interesting, but I don't see us playing it. This produces both red and white, so it's good for the balance, but it's also great for things like Wildfire, Duretti, and Goblin Welder. Yeah, definitely taking Boros Signet here. Followed up with Dimir Signet. Produces blue mana. That's pretty great. It's a great pickup. Passing up on pretty much nothing. I don't want to play this. But do I want to play this? That's the question. Or do we just want to play Hangerback Walker? I think it's just Hangerback Walker. Oh my gosh. Just playing a 2/2 Hangerback Walker on turn 1? God. If we have Mishra's Workshop plus either one of our, air quotes, Moxen, we have just so many sick plays. Like, we can also imprint, like, Goblin Welder. Oh no, we can't do that. I was gonna say we can Mishra's Workshop out already, but that's not a thing that we can do. Ooh, Mox Diamond. Mox Diamond's pretty sweet. Yeah, we're taking Mox Diamond. Memory Jar Wield. Do people not know what this card does? This card is great. You could also take an Urborg, which makes our Dismember better. It also makes our Mishra's Workshop and Tolarian Academy better if, we don't have any artifacts, which I don't feel like is going to be an issue. But Memory Jar is just great. We're going to take that. Oops. That's from one of my other drafts. Let's see. The Opposition Wield. That's insanity. Mox Diamond with Crucible of Worlds is not exactly where I want to be in my life. So I think I just take the Opposition and just not lose to it. Channel, I'd rather not lose to that, because that's just a whole bunch of feel bad. Nissa Worldwaker is kind of also a feel bad when you lose to that. This Disenchant that we can't possibly beat, and a Seething Song, and a Burst Lightning. Cool. All right, let's go to deck building. All right, so this is what I'm looking at for our deck. Added lands. We added 1 plains, 4 mountains, Grip of Islands. It wanted me to add swamps, probably because of this. That's crazy. Yeah, I also took out the Goblin Welder and what was the other card that was in here? It was Goblin Welder and something else. Maybe Tanglewire? Yeah, it was Tanglewire. And so I'm playing 16 lands because we have Moxen, all kinds of Moxen. Gosh, do we just like hard mulligan to Mishra's Workshops? Anyways, so yeah, bunch of signets. The Staff of Domination is not great, but because we don't have an infinite combo with it, but we do have like cool things where we can like, pay 1, put a counter onto the Hangerback Walker, pay 3, untap it, pay another 1, tap it to get another counter. So like we can do things like that. We can also like untap Forge Masters and be able to do things like that. But yeah, this is what I'm looking at with the deck. I took out the Smokestack and the Tanglewire because I just don't have time to do that in my life. Cool. Well, we'll see you all for round 1.